You're listening to the Kirkintilloch Herald, a Q Review recording service podcast, brought to you by our team of volunteers currently recording from their homes across Scotland. Whether you're listening via the BWBF online players, the telephone app, or our brand new Alexa skill, please phone us on 0141 772 3976 to feedback on what you want us to provide and improve upon. Please also join your family and friends in being our audio ambassadors and share our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram all at QN Review. That's at symbol CUEANDREVIEW.
Hello and welcome to the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday the 2nd of March 2022. Rob Roy rallying support. Supporters of the return of Kirkintilloch's Rob Roy to the town are being urged to take part in a rally for Rob Roy next month. The post on the club's Facebook page announced the event is being planned for Saturday, March 19th at 11 a.m. with anyone interested invited to gather outside the Regent Gardens Medical Centre next to Kirkintilloch Town Hall. The post said, quote, "Please attend this event, a brilliant community we have. Let's show the council. Turn it into a red and black day." End quote. The club wants to return to the town, ending an 8-year exile in Cumbernauld, and move into the new Kirkintilloch Sports Complex. A petition started by Rab's manager Stuart Maxwell, who has warned the club could fold for good otherwise, has so far attracted over 1,900 signatures. On the field, Rob Roy picked up another valuable point in their bid to avoid relegation from the WOSFL Premier Division with a 1-1 draw at 4th placed Kilwinning's Rangers last Wednesday. The visitors coped better with the difficult conditions in the first half, and a Chris O'Kane goal gave them the lead at the interval. However, a David Sign goal 19 minutes from time earned the hosts a draw. Rob Roy, whose league game at home to Blantyre Victoria on Saturday was postponed, are a point clear of the drop zone, but have games in hand. They were due to face Larnac United in Kilmarnock Pie West of Scotland League Cup on Monday night, and are away to local rivals Rossvale at Petershill on Friday night. That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March 2022.
Award-winning vet steps down after 40 years. An article by Liz Gallagher. A popular Kirkintilloch vet is stepping down this month after an incredible 40 years caring for animals. Lynn Martin, a clinical director of Martin Veterinary Centre, retires this month. The much-respected vet, who attended Oxgan Primary School and Kirkintilloch High School, decided she wanted to care for animals at the tender age of just 5 years old. Don Park, manager at Martin Vet Centre, said, "Lynn studied veterinary medicine at Glasgow University and has achieved many awards over the years and given so much back to the local community. She is well known and loved. She has the unusual distinction of spending her entire professional career at the same veterinary practice." Lynn graduated in 1984 with commendation. She went on to win the prestigious Barr and Macmillan Award for the most distinguished student in clinical veterinary medicine and surgery, and the Finlay Kerr Award for the highest grade in surgery. She began her career in a small vet practice at Townhead before moving to new and larger premises at Dalrymper Court. In 1994, Lynn became a partner to form Ballantyne and Martin Veterinary Surgeons. She took sole charge and became principal of the practice in 2001 of the retirement of Andrew Ballantyne. In 2012, she realised her dream of designing her own surgery with the opening of the new state-of-the-art Martin Veterinary Centre at South Bank Marina. Other accolades for Lynn included winning the East Dunbartonshire Women in Business Award 2015 and being named overall winner of British Veterinary Hospital Association Veterinary Practice Design Awards also in 2015. In 2019, Lynn and practice vet Alistair Jarvie became clinical directors at the firm. Dawn added, Lynn has provided keynote speeches for prize givings and is a sponsor of a prize for the best science student at Kirkintilloch High School. Lynn is also mum to Tom, Beth and Murray and wife of Gillis, as well as sharing the family home over the years with 4 Dalmatians, 2 cats, a hamster and various goldfish. She has also fostered many feral cats and participated in the relocation and resettlement of hedgehogs from the Outer Hebrides. Carers benefit from double payments. By Liz Gallagher. Some 1,105 carers in East Dunbartonshire have received the Scottish Government's Carers Allowance supplementary payments, unique in the UK. The supplement is an extra payment for people who get carers allowance from the Department of Work and Pensions and was introduced in Scotland in 2018. The decision for a double payment was then taken by the Scottish Government to recognise the extra burden the COVID pandemic has placed on carers. This has meant carers throughout the local authority area received up to £462.80 in December 2021. This is the second time a double payment has been made. The first was in summer 2020. Strathkelvin and Bearsden SNP MSP Rona Mackay has welcomed the additional payments, which mean that eligible carers received up to £694.20 more in support last year than carers in the rest of the UK. Ms Mackay said carers have undoubtedly been particularly hard hit throughout the pandemic, so I'm glad the SNP Scottish Government chose to address this by introducing an additional coronavirus carers allowance supplement payment. The numbers are clear that, when they needed it most, we assisted 1,105 carers in East Dunbartonshire. The SNP's commitment to help improve the lives of carers is an incredibly important one. Carers make an immense contribution to the health and well-being of loved ones, and it is essential they have the support they need to provide care and have a fulfilling life. The Carers Allowance Supplement was the first payment the Scottish Government introduced when establishing Scotland's new social security system in 2018. In total, £188 million has been paid to carers since its launch, and it is making a huge difference to carers throughout my constituency. We are using the powers we have in Scotland to build a social security system in Scotland centred on the principles of dignity, fairness and respect, but that is set against a cruel system at Westminster, which is cutting support at a time when those on the lowest incomes need it most. That is why the people of Scotland must have the choice to choose a different path, which gives Scotland full powers over social security, so we can provide for those that need it most. That, as we said, was an article by Liz Gallagher.
Busy Bees Saving Our Pollinators, written by Julie Curry. Projects across Scotland provided crucial help for bees, hoverflies and other pollinators in 2021. A new progress report published by Nature Scot highlighted the huge amount of work being undertaken by a wide range of organisations and individuals to implement the pollinator strategy for Scotland. Pollinators are vital for our biodiversity, but populations face challenges due to changes in land use, habitat loss, diseases, pesticides and climate change. The aim of the strategy is to make Scotland more pollinator friendly, halting and reversing the decline in native pollinator populations. Despite the ongoing challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, success stories in 2021 include the sowing of dozens of new wildflower meadows and improvements to road verge habitats across Scotland. Projects also created wild spaces in school grounds, improved community green spaces, and planted pollinator-friendly spring bulbs, fruit trees and hedgerows. Hundreds of volunteers also signed up to do their bit for pollinators in 2021, from bulb planting and meadow maintenance to insect identification and surveying. Jim Jeffrey, Nature Scot Pollinator Strategy Manager, said, quote, "This latest progress report comes on the back of COP26 in Glasgow. There is no doubt now that the twin challenges of climate change and nature loss are in the forefront of everyone's mind. Scotland is doing its utmost to address pollinator declines, and we are fortunate that so many individuals and organisations recognise their plight and are taking steps to help these vital insects. It's particularly encouraging to see local authorities increasingly embracing opportunities to manage public spaces in a wildlife-friendly way, making space for nature and reducing mowing and planting for pollinators. At Nature Scot, we are pleased to have been able to support many projects through the Scottish Government's Biodiversity Challenge Fund, and look forward to building on this work through the new £65 million Nature Restoration Fund. To find out more, please visit www.nature.scot/make-space-nature-spring. That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. SFRS joins Dying to Work campaign. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service has signed up to the Dying to Work campaign to help employees who become terminally ill at work. As part of the campaign managed by the Trades Union Congress, TUC, employers are encouraged to sign up to a voluntary charter, which makes a number of commitments to employees. Signing the voluntary charter is an employer's commitment to ensure that all employees who are diagnosed with a terminal illness have employment protection. SFRS Chief Officer Martin Bluden said, quote, "When employees are faced with a terminal illness, it's important that they are able to choose the path that is right for them, without having the additional worry of financial uncertainty. We hope that the signing of this charter will provide reassurances to the employees that they have the support of their employer at a time when they need it the most." That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March 2022. Second boosters in offering this spring. Second booster jabs will be offered to those aged 75 and over and those at highest risk of severe COVID-19 disease, following the latest Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation advice. A spring booster dose will be offered at least 24 weeks after the last vaccination dose to adults aged 75 and over, and residents in care homes for older adults and individuals aged 12 years and over who are immunosuppressed. These people will be invited as they become eligible from at least 24 weeks after their last booster, with the first group receiving appointments from the second week in March. Health Secretary Humza Yousaf said, quote, "We know that these high-priority groups are at higher risk of serious illness from COVID-19. I therefore welcome the further advice from the GCVI and confirm Scotland will offer a further dose to these people from next month. Vaccination has been our most effective tool against coronavirus, and that will continue to be the case. I continue to encourage everyone to receive the doses they are eligible for as and when they become available." Deputy Chief Medical Officer Professor Nicola Steadman added, quote, "Our vaccination programme has been highly successful, with 85% of the eligible population having had a booster or third dose vaccination. The World Health Organisation estimates some 28,000 lives have been saved in Scotland as a result. However, the degree of protection offered by the vaccines wanes over time, which is why the booster vaccine is needed to maintain the best protection against COVID-19 for those at highest risk of severe effects from the virus." That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March 2022.
Council tax rise of 3% on cards. An article by Neil McGrory, local democracy reporter. And the picture with the caption is East Dunbartonshire Council's headquarters. East Dunbartonshire Council has imposed a 3% council tax increase as part of its budget settlement. With the council facing a financial gap of almost £7 million, the decision was made to increase the tax, which will raise almost £2 million of the extra funding required. The rest will be covered through use of reserves, financial flexibilities, and an organisational transformation programme later in the year. Joint Council leader Andrew Paulson said no funding was provided by Scottish Government to deliver a council tax freeze. We had no choice but to increase the council tax rates. 3% increase is well below the current rate of inflation and is a balance between generating the additional income we need and ensuring we do not place too high a burden on our residents. During the meeting, councillors praised local government employees for their ongoing efforts to deliver essential services throughout the pandemic. Councillor Paulson said they are our life force and their flexibility and commitment in the most challenging of circumstances is hugely appreciated. The council also set its 10-year capital programme, which in its first year will see £96 million invested in a number of projects. These include a new additional needs school in Kirkintilloch, replacement buildings for Allender Leisure Centre and Beauclair Academy in Bearsden, and Bamuldy Primary School in Bishopbriggs. Also the refurbishment of Bearsden, Mulgai and Westerton primary schools, and an outdoor education centre in Twecker, and the council also underlined its commitment to a new Lenzie Academy. The council also set its housing revenue and capital budget, having established that tenants would need to pay a total of more than £15 million, necessitating a rent increase of 2.5%. Joint Council leader Councillor Vaughan Moody said this was below average benchmarking comparisons and was largely supported by tenants. The £100,000 hardship fund will remain to support tenants at risk of losing their homes due to financial difficulty, and a further £100,000 will support people who are living in homeless accommodation. The total housing capital budget is almost £21 million, of which £7 million will be invested in existing council properties to meet quality and energy efficiency standards. Almost £8 million will be used to build new properties. £2 million will allow the council to purchase homes from property developers, and £3 million will be used to obtain properties on the open market. Over a 5-year period, East Dunbartonshire Council plans to invest £138 million in housing. That, as we said, was an article by Neil McGrory.
40,000 people now face poverty. The independent Joseph Rowntree Foundation is warning that a planned real terms cut to the benefits in April could pull 40,000 people into poverty across Scotland. New analysis reveals the stark consequences of the UK government's decision to uprate benefits by just 3.1% in April, when inflation is forecast to hit 7%. This represents a real terms cut to the income of some of the poorest families in the country, at a time when the UK's main out-of-work support is already at a 30-year low following a decade of cuts and less than 6 months on from the £20 per week cut to universal credit. Around 9 million households across the UK on means tested benefits due to low incomes, both in and out of work, will experience an average real terms cut of £500 a year. Couples with children in receipt of benefits due to low income will experience a real terms cut of £720 per year, while the figure across all pensioners' couples is £540 per year. For families on low income, a reduction in the value of benefit levels that are already inadequate could not come at a worse time, and the Scottish Government temporary support package has been criticised too. Chris Burt, B-I-R-T, GRFS's Association Director for Scotland, said, quote, "Measures to mitigate rising energy prices from both the UK and Scottish governments failed to sufficiently target support towards people on the lowest incomes, making the case for strengthened support through the benefits system even clearer. Our social security system should protect people from economic shocks, not put them in danger." That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022.
Help shape business plans. People are being invited to help shape plans to boost businesses in Bishopbriggs. Views are sought on a potential business incubation centre in the town, part of the council's £34.88 million City Deal Place and growth programme for the area. The aim is to examine options to provide affordable, flexible space to help local businesses begin, bloom and flourish, creating and retaining employment within Bishopbriggs and across East Dunbartonshire. Consultation is taking place between 21st of February and the 13th of March 2022 to help establish local demand. So visit www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/business centre views. So that's eastdunbarton.gov.uk/BUSINESCENTREVIEWS. If viable options can be established, the facility could form part of the Bishopbriggs Town Centre Regeneration Project, element of City Deal programme. The project, in conjunction with Strathclyde Partnership for Transport and Glasgow City Council, will see an integrated approach to improve infrastructure locally.
Nature calls for us to bin all our wipes. An article by Julie Curry. Scots are being urged to bin all wipes in a major new campaign to help protect the environment. Scottish Water is asking the public to join forces to avoid sewer blockages, flooding and pollution by consigning wipes to the bin. And it is also calling on governments north and south of the border to work together to ban wipes made with plastic. The new nationwide campaign, Nature Calls, is backed by a range of other organisations, including the Marine Conservation Society, Keep Scotland Beautiful and Zero Waste Scotland. Douglas Milliken, Scottish Water Chief Executive, said, quote, "Our message to the customers is clear. Please bin wipes and help us protect the environment. And to policymakers, we say now is the time to ban all wipes containing plastic and rid our sewers, rivers and beaches of this needless problem." Last year, more than 10,000 tonnes of material, the equivalent of 80 blue whales, was removed from Scotland's wastewater plants. Every year, our teams deal with around 36,000 blockages at a cost to customers of £7 million annually, and around 80% of the blockages we attend feature wipes. Members of the public, communities, campaigners, manufacturers, retailers and governments must all work together to do the right thing for nature now and for generations to come. The Nature Calls campaign will feature adverts on multiple channels through February and March. More information is available at www.jointhewave.scot. A wide range of organisations have voiced support for Nature Calls, including the Marine Conservation Society. Catherine Gemmell, Scotland Conservation Officer, said, quote, "At last year's Great British Beach Clean, we found an average of 25 wet wipes for every 100 metres of Scottish beach surveyed. Our toilets can still sadly be gateways to the ocean, which is why incorrectly flushed items like plastic wet wipes can be found on beaches across Scotland. We need to stop plastic items like wet wipes getting into the sewer system and out in the ocean. That's why we're supporting the Nature Calls campaign." That was from the Kirkintilloch Herald and written by Julie Curry.
Heritage Awards. Do you have a community archive or heritage group near you who deserves some recognition? The Community Archives and Heritage Group, CAHG, of the Archives and Records Association is looking for nominations for their annual awards. Every year, the CAHG recognises outstanding groups and projects. All they need from is a 200-word statement that tells them what you value about your community archive or heritage group. Is it the news stories you discover? Is it the way your research and activities bring your community together? Is it the important artefacts and paperwork you preserve for the next generation? There must be something that makes it special and worth your time and effort. To enter, visit https:// www.cahg.org/awards communityarchives.org.uk. That's content.get.content/content/get/involved-involved-register. Local school leavers lead the way in Scotland. An article by Herald reporter. East Dunbartonshire is leading Scotland in outcomes for young people, as 98.6% of pupils across the area were in a positive destination within 3 months of leaving school last year. Latest figures from the Scottish Government show that 1,324 school leavers from East Dunbartonshire went on to work, training or further study. The results further show a 6% rise in the number of positive destinations for young people in the area since 2009-10, up from 92.4% to 98.6%. Across Scotland, a record 95.5% of all pupils went on to a positive destination last year. The statistics show 45.1% go on to higher education courses, the highest number since records began in 2009-10. And the lowest gap between the most and least deprived communities achieving a positive destination since 2009-10. Strathkelvin and Bearsden SNP MSP Rona Mackay praised the incredible work of teachers, educators and pupils. She said, "I'm delighted that an incredible 98.6% of pupils across East Dunbartonshire are going on to positive destinations, whether that be work, training or further study. This is a record-breaking nation-leading figure and is a testament to the incredible work both our teachers, educators and pupils are carrying out in our communities. The transition for young people from school to adulthood is vital, and the SNP is committed to getting this right for every young person across Scotland, no matter what their background. Whether it's investing in tackling the poverty-related attainment gap, free tuition or introducing the Back to Work Jobs Grant for people aged 16 to 24, the SNP and Government is taking actions to prioritise young people in Strathkelvin and Bearsden. Opposition parties continue to paint a bleak picture of what young people in Scotland are achieving. The reality is that despite the impact of COVID-19, real progress is being made as a result of the SNP's determination to give young people across our country the best start in life. The figures were released last week in the Scottish Government's summary statistics for attainment and initial leaver destinations. Pupils Aid Vital Service, an article by Liz Gallagher, reporter. 4 winning young philanthropists from Kirkintilloch High School have helped raise thousands of pounds to aid victims of domestic abuse. Every year at the local secondary school, S5 pupils take part in Scotland's Youth Philanthropy Initiative, the YPI, led by Kirkintilloch High's religious education team. This year, Rebecca, Amy and Sophie, who were pictured, fundraised for Women's Aid and have been awarded £3,000 to donate to this worthwhile cause. Maureen Daniel, head teacher at the school, said, "The YPI perfectly echoes the school's motto, which is dream big, work hard and show kindness, with a specific focus on the latter. Since it was introduced to Scotland in 2008 by the Wood Foundation, Youth Philanthropy Project has engaged more than 230,000 young people who have taken responsibility for £5 million of charitable giving. Young people at Kirkintilloch High have made the most of this opportunity, and 2022 has been no exception." Maureen said, "Working collaboratively in groups, the S5 learners have championed several local charities in the Kirkintilloch area to try and win £3,000 for their chosen good cause. The groups all work tirelessly to raise money for YPI through events such as Pie Your Teacher and Pupil versus Teacher volleyball match. Importantly, they have all taken the time to meet with the charity representatives and hear from the people who benefit from their charity's work. This year's winning group of Rebecca, Emma, Amy and Sophie were fundraising for Women's Aid and have been awarded £3,000 to donate to this worthwhile cause. Reflecting on their experience, Rebecca, Emma, Amy and Sophie said, We are so honoured to have been given the opportunity to work with and raise money for such an amazing charity that means so much to us. Women's Aid is a vital service to vulnerable people in our community that we are grateful for. Thank you to everyone at Women's Aid and everyone else who helped with our presentation. The YPI describes itself as a powerful active citizenship programme, empowering young people to make a difference in their communities while developing a range, and that would appear to be where the article stops. Pupils impress leading musician. There's a picture of a group of young people, school pupils, carrying violins and various other musical instruments, along with a young musician. And the caption reads, award-winning percussionist Callum Hoggan, on the right of the picture, held a music workshop at Lenzie Academy. Award-winning percussionist Callum Hoggan returned to his hometown of Lenzie last weekend with the Music at St Cyprian's concert series. This included a workshop visit to his old school, Lenzie Academy, followed by a varied concert of music for marimba. Callum's day at Lenzie Academy was spent with a full day of music composition workshops for the class of advanced higher music pupils. Callum said it was incredible, such talented students, and they created a fabulous piece. The following day's performance at St Cyprian's was for a full church of 88 adults and young people with a wonderful mix of music. Reported to The Crown by Liz Gallagher. There's a picture of Bamuldy Primary School with the caption, Crown Office is considering its next steps in connection with the escape of poisonous fumes at Bamuldy. East Dunbartonshire Council has been reported to the Crown Office after investigation by Health and Safety into gas leaks at local primary schools. The Herald revealed back in February 2020 how more than 400 staff and children had to be evacuated from Bamuldy Primary at Bishopbriggs after poisonous fumes escaped from a faulty boiler at the school. A number of pupils at Bamuldy fell ill before the leak was detected, with some complaining of headaches and feeling sick. East Dunbartonshire Council reported itself to the Health and Safety Executive, the HSE, after it admitted it could not find a gas safety certificate for Bamuldy. A spokesperson for the HSE, which has completed its probe, said this week, we submitted a report to the Crown and can't comment further. Now the Crown Office is considering its next steps in connection with the escape of the poisonous fumes at Bamuldy. A spokesperson for the COPFS said the Procurator Fiscal has received a report in connection with an incident at Bamuldy Primary School in February 2020. The report is under consideration. The Herald understands the council could face a substantial fine if convicted. East Dunbartonshire Council's Deputy Chief Executive Anne Davey said this week it would not be appropriate to comment on this ongoing matter, but I can confirm that all East Dunbartonshire Council boilers are safe, inspected and maintained in accordance with the relevant legislation. Other schools in East Dunbartonshire were also at the centre of gas leak scares. The Herald revealed in March 2020 that Craigdew Primary in Mulgai was also evacuated over a carbon monoxide leak. Fortunately, a new alarm placed in Craigdew after the first incident at Bamuldy a few weeks earlier picked up traces of the toxic gas. The evacuation of pupils and staff at the Mulgai School on Wednesday, March the 4th, came a day after a similar incident at Westercledens Primary in Bishopbriggs. Faulty boilers have been blamed for the leaks in all three schools. Parents were informed of the Mulgai incident in March 2020 in a letter from East Dunbartonshire Council's Chief Education Officer, Jackie MacDonald. She said the fire service discovered the fault was in an external boiler house at Craigdew and there were no traces of carbon monoxide in the school building. The boiler was repaired. Thomas Glenn, Deputy Chief Executive for Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets, who has now left the council, said at the time a review of gas safety certificates across the school estate was carried out following the Bamuldy incident. All gas boilers have now been serviced and certified. One local teacher who did not want to be named expressed fears to the Herald back in 2020 that council buildings were not being properly maintained and called the situation a complete disgrace. He said the council is scurrying about looking for safety certificates. Heads should roll for this at the highest level. The article, as we said, was by Liz Gallagher. £11.8 million to reverse UK cuts, says MP. The Scottish Government spent £11.8 million in East Dunbartonshire to mitigate UK Government policies this financial year, according to the local MP, meaning there is less cash available to support hard-pressed families through the cost of living crisis. SNP MP Amy Callaghan warned the spirit of devolution is being undermined. The local MP pointed to the Scottish Government's decision to mitigate the so-called bedroom tax through the use of discretionary housing payments at a cost of £62.7 million in 2020-21, as well as the Scottish Welfare Fund effectively reversing UK welfare reforms. This comes as new analysis by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation found households on low incomes will spend an average of 18% of their income after housing costs on energy bills from April. For single adult households on low incomes, this rises to 54%. Ms Callaghan said devolution was supposed to be about how much more than righting the wrongs of Westminster, but that is where we are. By negligence or by design, the Tories are undermining devolution in Scotland, imposing cruel policies that leave the Scottish Government with no choice but to dip into restricted budgets to find the money to support people here in East Dunbartonshire and across Scotland. If the Scottish Government didn't have to mitigate these policies, that would free up the equivalent of an extra £109 for every man, woman and child in East Dunbartonshire. Selling hope, not dope. An article by Liz Gallagher. And there's a picture of one gentleman and three ladies standing outside with the caption Amy Callaghan MP second left with supporters of Kirkintilloch's charity We Are You. East Dunbartonshire MP Amy Callaghan has celebrated the tremendous work of We Are You With You, a local charity that supports young people impacted by substance abuse. During a visit to the charity's base in Kirkintilloch, Ms Callaghan met with Christine Macaulay, Development Manager for the group, as well as key workers Aaron and Hannah. The local MP said she was really impressed by the support provided to young people and wants to get to the message out there that help is available for any young person directly or indirectly impacted by substance misuse. We Are With You provides tailored counselling and mental health services to the young people they serve, working with them to achieve the goals they set. The charity relies on individual grant funding and recently received a substantial grant from the National Lottery to support its work locally. Ms Callaghan added that the Scottish Government has made tackling substance misuse a national mission, with partnership working with charities such as We Are With You a key part of the approach being rolled out. The local MP added it was really inspiring to meet with Christine, Aaron and Hannah to hear about the tremendous work they are doing locally to support young people affected by substance misuse. We know that this kind of support is most effective when it is targeted at the whole family, and that's precisely the approach We Are With You. That support then empowers families to move forward and make positive choices for themselves. Clearly, substance misuse is a serious problem in Scotland that can have a long-lasting impact on young people. That's why it's so important we have charities like We Are With You, which, as Aaron put it to me, sell hope, not dope. If you're a young person or a family impacted by substance misuse, they can get support by contacting the local We Are With You branch in Kirkintilloch. To find out more about the We Are With You charity, visit www.wearewithyou, all one word, .org.uk. That's wearewithyou.org.uk. Ukraine, MP in call to council. An article by Liz Gallagher. Local MP Amy Callaghan has called on East Dunbartonshire Council to illuminate iconic buildings in the area to show support for the people of Ukraine. As the Herald went to press on Monday, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia's Vladimir Putin enters its fifth day. In a letter to Chief Executive Jerry Corns, which the MP posted on Twitter at the weekend, Ms Callaghan also said she was currently engaging with constituents trapped within the region. She wrote, I've write formally to request that in practical solidarity, East Dunbartonshire Council considers illuminating council buildings with the colours of Ukraine. Other civic buildings and tourist spots throughout Scotland have already taken this small step. Naturally, given the gravity of the conflict and the deeply complex forces at play within Ukraine, such gestures will not solve the problem, but it can, however small, offer support and solidarity for those in dire humanitarian need, caught up in a war not of their choosing. The MP also requested that, depending on the Scottish and UK government advice, the area stands ready to offer shelter to displaced people. As always, I am willing to work with all across Council to ensure those who seek to call East Dunbartonshire their home after escaping war or persecution can do so. I am currently engaging with constituents trapped within the region and will be seeking any and all help to ensure that they and others who need my assistance can find safety in our community. And the picture with the article is a picture of Amy Callaghan MP and the flag and colours of Ukraine. Weather the storm. Emergency equipment to help during adverse weather conditions has been made available to local community groups across North Lanarkshire. The resilience packs will be available for community groups and organisations to distribute whenever required during wintry or adverse weather. Thanks to funding provided through North Lanarkshire's Recovery NL Fund, the special bags contain items including high-vis vests, head torches, cold weather gloves, emergency blankets, snow shovels, a compact megaphone, first aid kits and other support equipment. Councillor Angela Campbell, convener of Community Empowerment, said these emergency weather packs could prove crucial in the event of stormy, wet or wintry weather, especially in outlying and difficult to reach areas.
Hello and welcome to the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. Fanfare for vital Rossvale match. Rossvale WFC Charitable Trust are organising a fun day at this Sunday's top of the table Scottish Women's Championship South clash with Gartcairn at Petershill Park. Vale go into the match in second place in the table, level on points with leaders Gartcairn after a fine 5-1 win away to Hutchison Vale ladies. Lauren Coleman, Elise Weringa, Christine Trenner, Gemma McQuillan and Danny Gallagher got the goals for Rossvale, which leaves them trailing Gartcairn only on goal differences, although they have played a game more than their Airdrie rivals. Rossvale's senior women's team are in the first season and are enjoying a fine debut campaign, having won 13 and lost just 2 of their 16 league matches. All girls from Rossvale Academy have been invited along to lend their support, with Gartcairn Academy players also invited along to join the fun. The match kicks off at 4 p.m, and there will be face painting, halftime games and mascots. Rossvale's senior men were beaten 2-1 in their WOSFL Premier Division fixture at Clydebank on Saturday. Former Kirkintilloch Rob Roy winger Lee Gallagher put the hosts in front after 15 minutes, sending a free kick over the Rossvale wall into the net. Rossvale equalised 9 minutes from half-time when Brad Rodden's free kick from wide on the right found its way into the Bankies' net. But Clydebank, managed by former Rossvale boss Gordon Moffat, and including a number of ex-Vale players in their squad, got the winner through Ross McPherson's well-struck finish with 12 minutes to go. That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March, 2022.
From the Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 23rd of February 2022, from the District News section, Church Notices. Torrens Parish Church. The Sunday morning service, in person, is at 10:30am, conducted by our new minister, Reverend Stuart Irwin, and during the service the youngsters meet together in creche, junior church and FROG. Can you please take a lateral flow test before arriving? To join the service online, click torranceparishchurch.online.church, or to listen by phone, call 0131 460 1196 United Kingdom. Then when prompted, enter meeting ID 827 9548 7848. This will be charged at local rates and will be part of any inclusive phone plan. The cafe is open on Wednesday at 9am to noon for teas and coffee serving delicious home baking. Why not pop in and taste for yourself? Find out about regular weekly activities. Check the website for what's on at www.tpc.org.uk. Kirkintilloch Church of God. The usual Sunday Good News service at Regent Hall, Regent Street, remains cancelled for the time being. We are still continuing our Zoom services on Sunday evenings at 6:30pm. The speaker this Sunday will be Len Burgoyne from Kilmarnock. A warm invitation to everyone who is able to join us on Zoom. Access details for the stream can be obtained by emailing hello@regenthall.org. Come to Coffee Corner on Wednesday from noon till 2pm for home baking and coffee. COVID safe measures are in place. For up-to-date and further information, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. The Bible says, "Seek the Lord where he may be found, call on him while he is near." Isaiah 55 verse 6. St Columba's Church. Do join us for our Sunday morning service at 10:30am each week, where we consider to study the Gospel of Luke together. We also have a children and young people's ministry running alongside this service on a Sunday morning, and visitors' children are always welcome. You're also most welcome to our midweek service at 10am on Wednesday as we look together at the book of Acts. We'd be really glad to meet you and join you for either tea or coffee or juice after either of these services if you're able to stay for that. If you can't come to a service in person, you can still connect with us by live stream via our website at www.kirkintillochstcolumbus.org.uk or by searching for St Columba's Kirkintilloch on YouTube. We also have a full programme of events during the week, including Little Fishes, our community carer and toddler group, and the First Kirkintilloch Boys Brigade. Please see the church website for more details. Reverend Philip Wright, Minister, St Columba's Kirkintilloch, Old Isle Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 3HQ. Email pwright@churchofscotland.org.uk. Mobile number 07427 623 393. St David's Memorial Park Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our morning service on Sunday, February the 27th, will be at our usual time of 10:30am and will be led by our Church of Scotland reader, John Nicholson. During our morning worship, school-aged children will have the opportunity to go through to our halls for their own time of fun and learning with JAM. All are welcome to attend our service. We would ask that you continue to wear a face mask during the service unless exempt from doing so. We look forward to welcoming you to the church. Our Tuesday lunchtime service has now resumed and will take place at March the 1st at noon. Again, COVID measures are in place and all are welcome to attend. Home Church. O taste and see the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Psalm 34 verse 8. Home Church welcomes you to any of our Sunday service as follows: 9:30am, communion; 10am, prayer time; 10:30am, fellowship, tea and coffee available; 11am, worship service in Children's Church followed by tea and coffee. The main service at 11am is online and in person. One church, Home Church, 4 locations, soon to be 5. Kirkintilloch, North Coast, Northern Ireland, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages, various study groups for all ages are on Wednesdays in the church at 7:30pm. Also Zoom meetings for those who live at a distance. Encounter weekly starts on Friday the February the 25th and is open to all. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information. St James Church. Rector the Reverend Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. The church is now open for socially distancing services, face masks essential, this Thursday at 11am and on Sunday at 9am and at 10:30am. We will be having a Sunday school on Sunday, February the 27th, and the service at 10:30am that will follow the Celtic Communion liturgy in a more informal format. Everyone of any age is especially welcomed at this family-friendly service. The Meditation Labyrinth is still available in the car park for a mindful walk round. There are also virtual services and groups. For up-to-date and further information, refer to our social media. Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs. Website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Colston Well Park Church. A warm welcome to our morning service this Sunday at 11am, led by Reverend Leslie Grieve, followed by tea and coffee after the service. The Colston Art Club continues every Monday from 10am to 1pm and is open to all who enjoy art and good company. The food bank remains open every Monday and Friday from 2pm to 4pm, and again a special thanks to those who continue to contribute to this worthwhile cause. All organisations and church groups are working hard to get back to normal activities as soon as possible. Catch our services on Facebook, Colston Well Park Parish Church, and if you require further information on our church activities, etc., contact Leslie Grieve on 07813 255 052. Kenmure Parish Church. George and Sheena Reid will lead our Sunday morning service this week starting at 11am. The service will be live streamed on YouTube and can be found by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs. Details of our groups that are now running may be found on the website kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmure@icloud.com. Milton of Campsie Church. We're back in the building. Seating is 1 metre apart, so no need to book, but we still wear masks. Jigsaw, EPIC and Crossover will meet as usual. Next Sunday we'll be focusing on Jesus' Transfiguration. Send us a pic of yourself up a mountain, up a ladder, or even upstairs. We'll also celebrate Fair Trade Fortnight, noon Zoom coffee, and chat is now at 12:30pm. Contact Julie for the link. And remember the phone number for a dial-in service which enables you to hear Sunday service. Just dial 01360 545 345. Time to pray is back in the building, 7:15pm to 7:55pm on Wednesday. BB, Anchor and Junior sections meet on Friday at 6:15pm. Tickets for the Guild concert on Wednesday, March the 2nd at 7:30pm are now on sale, priced £6. The entertainment will be provided by the Cosyth Harmony Group. The next Go Mad Extra is on Sunday, March the 13th from 1pm to 2:30pm. Publicity for this goes out on Sunday, and of course you can register online with Jotform. Lenzie Union Parish Church. Sunday worship will be held by Reverend Dan Carmichael at 11am in the church. Young people are also welcome to Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service is available on YouTube via our website. Tea and coffee may be served in the hall after the Sunday service. Sunday chat meeting is at 12:30pm on Zoom. The Meeting Place Coffee Shop is open on Wednesdays at 10am to 11:30am in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone, from the very young to the young at heart, is welcome to join us, where we have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The Coffee Pot is open on Fridays 10am to 11:30am in the new hall for teas, coffees and chat. Craft Cafe is on Tuesday, March the 1st at Dean House between 2pm and 4pm. Bring your own craftwork or join in with a group project. Face coverings required unless exempt, and test protect details collected. Lenzie Old Parish Church. Sunday service is at 11am. and will be available online and on the phone line later in that afternoon. Please take a lateral flow test before attending the service. Thursday Club meeting February the 24th from 2pm to 4pm for tea, coffee, games and chat. Come and Sing, the dementia-friendly singing group, meets in the hall on Tuesday, March the 1st from 1:30pm to 3pm. Mary's Meals Appeal. Mary's Meals has launched an appeal to provide more school meals for the hungry children in South Sudan, the country with the world's highest rate of children out of education. Learning across South Sudan has been drastically hindered by years of violence and upheaval, with survival often taking priority over children attending school. Internal displacement, deep poverty and hunger mean that life for families is a real struggle. Over 70%, 2.2 million, of primary school age children are not in education, with girls more likely to miss school, and more than half the population have insufficient food intake. A third of children under 5 suffer from chronic malnutrition. Mary's Meals is already feeding around 70,000 hungry children every school day in South Sudan. Now the charity, founded in a shed in Argyll, is appealing for support to reach even more hungry children with a nutritious meal at school. Daniel Adams, Executive Director of Mary's Meals, said, "Our nutritious meals are giving children in South Sudan the energy to learn, hope for a better future, and some respite from the immense difficulty of everyday life." Mary's Meals is one of very few organisations delivering to desperately needed food to the schools in this country. We are already feeding around 70,000 children every school day, and we are determined to reach even more little ones with our life-changing meals. To do this, we need your support. In South Sudan, the charity works in partnership with local organisations, Diocese of Rumbek and Mary Help Association, to serve maize and beans to pupils at 114 schools in the Warrap and Lake State regions, where thousands of people have fled to seeking refuge. To donate, visit marysmeals.org.uk/south-sudan-appeal or call 0800 698 1212. And that was today's church notices from the District News section of the Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 23rd of February 2022. From the Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 23rd of February 2022, from the District's News section. Society of Antiquaries. Our next event will be a joint meeting with the Kirkintilloch Soroptimus and will be in appreciation of Beatrice Clugston. It will be held in the Park Centre on Thursday, March 3rd at 7:30pm. Booking is required for this event. To register, please send an email to kdsantiquaries@gmail.com, giving your contact details and number of seats required. We are looking forward to what will be our first live event for 2 years. New companies. Latest figures show that the number of businesses in Scotland reached a record high during 2021, despite the continuing economic challenges resulting from the pandemic. The total number of registered companies in Scotland rose to 272,770. During the year, 33,988 new businesses were registered in the country. The statistics come from the Informed Direct Review of Company Formations using data from the Companies House and the Office for National Statistics. John Kolchak, Operations Director for Informed Direct, said, "It is excellent news to see so many new businesses being started in Scotland, a trend which has propelled the country to a new record number of resident companies." Kirkintilloch Players. The Kirkintilloch Players are delighted to announce that our youth summer show is back. This year it's going to be Sister Act Junior, a musical filled with catchy songs and a wide variety of fantastic parts. If you are between primary 6 to 6th year, or the equivalent age, and you're interested in theatre, then we'd love to see you at the Turret Theatre for our auditions. The Kirky Players are nearly 100 years old, so what better time to get involved? You'll make new friends, learn new skills, and have a fantastic time. For more info, please see our Facebook page, where you'll find video, and or email kpuyouthconvener@gmail.com for more info. Live theatre is back and we'd love you to be part of it. Kirkintilloch Players is an amateur drama company and a Scottish charity, SCOO2574, regulated by the Scottish Charity Regulator, OSCR. www.kirkintillochplayers.co.uk. Noah needs a home. Animal welfare experts are appealing for a home for Noah, a 2-year-old lurcher currently staying at Dogs Trust in West Calder. Noah is a handsome lad who stands out from the crowd with his fluffy blonde long hair coat. He is a friendly boy who adores his human friends. He enjoys a gentle scratch and can't resist a cheesy treat. As a young lurcher, he is full of energy and would enjoy a large garden which he can chase toys and run around freely. Noah is always excited to go on walks. He feels uncomfortable around other dogs and prefers to explore quiet areas. If you think you could give Noah a home, or any of the 50 dogs currently available, call West Calder Rehoming Centre on 01506 873 459. Allow cats in rented homes. Cats Protection is urging the Scottish Government to do more to ensure people who rent their own homes can benefit from owning a pet cat. The charity says that the widespread use of blanket no pets policies is unfair and outdated, and that an overhaul of how pets are viewed in the rented sector is urgently needed. Cats Protection Advocacy and Government Relations Officer for Scotland, Alice Palombo, said, "The pandemic has really highlighted just how important pets are in our lives, whether it's providing companionship to people living alone, comfort for those with ongoing health conditions, or simply a fun and much loved part of family life." Holyrood Voice by Ross Greer, MSP. Easier travel in the future. Our transport system has been going in the wrong direction for decades, but things are about to change. Underinvestment, cutbacks and privatisation of public transport, combined with an obsession with building new trunk roads and or motorways, rather than maintaining existing roads, has left Scotland far behind most of our European neighbours. However, recent events give cause for optimism. Identifying 45 large-scale projects as priorities for the next 20 years, the Scottish Government has just published its long-term transport strategy. Many of these are national schemes that will benefit us all, like active travel, walking, wheeling and cycling, routes connecting towns and villages, or encouraging safer road use. The most ambitious, though, is the Clyde Metro project here in Greater Glasgow. This will create a rail network linking towns and villages within 15 kilometres of the city centre, including Kirkintilloch, Bishopbriggs and the villages, with the city and each other. The emphasis will be on reaching more deprived communities and locations with poor public transport links. The Clyde Metro will open up new travel options for local residents, improve the frequency and reliability of rail services, and help reduce the number of cars on the road by giving people attractive alternatives. This will improve local air quality and make our roads safer, and it will create thousands of quality jobs. What about the detail? We're at an early stage, but the consultation document does include the likely routes the new rail lines will take. A new light rail link, running to the west of the existing rail line, will link Bishopbriggs with the centre of Glasgow. And a new heavy metro line will link the city centre and East End with Kirkintilloch, likely running as far as Hillhead. I know that many readers will be sceptical about how much of this will actually happen. A number of the schemes on the map have been on the cards for far too long without getting off the ground. But with the Scottish Greens now in government, there's a new recognition of the need for a public transport revolution for the benefit of people and the planet. Make sure to respond to Transport Scotland's Strategic Transport Projects Review 2 consultation. And that was this week's District News from the Kirkintilloch Herald, dated Wednesday the 23rd of February 2022. From the Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 23rd of February 2022. From the opinions section, let's talk, including our letters page. Let's have a government which has respect for OAPs. Sir, as a pensioner myself, I can sympathise with the last week's correspondent who just knew that Scotland couldn't afford to pay its way and that independence would inevitably lead to ruin. Change is worrying, and it's natural to want everything to stay the same as it always has been. But hang on, we just had a huge change of Brexit imposed on us in the middle of the pandemic. Our NHS is threatened with further privatisation, and the triple lock on an already meagre state pension has been abandoned, while our Westminster rulers party and laugh at us. An independent Scotland would benefit from its own abundant renewable energy, instead of having it drained off to the southeast of England like the oil wealth was. And it would have the tax income from its own healthy and diverse economy, instead of most of it going to a treasury which insultingly gives back a little pocket money. And we could vote for a government which respects pensioners. Change for the worse is ahead of us unless we lose our timidity and find our own way. Yours, etc., Derek Ball, by email. No need to be importing all this oil, coal and gas. Recent numerous Conservative MPs and peers called on the government to end UK's moratorium on fracking. However, Government Minister Zach Goldsmith refused, saying, between just 1 and 3% of UK gas comes from Russia. Why are you paying this man over £100,000 a year if he does not realise how much oil, gas, coal and electricity we are forced to import? Every year the UK imports 3.5 million tonnes of coal, 46.9 million tonnes of oil, 17.7 terawatts of electricity, and 438 terawatts of gas. It makes no sense importing energy when there is enough oil and gas under the North Sea for at least 20 years and enough shale gas under our feet for the last 47 years. Politicians must ignore the Green Luddites and ensure that the UK has energy security and is not dependent on foreign nations. Yours, etc., Clark Cross, address supplied. RN contracts will dry up if we sail our own way. Sir, it appears that a number of senior SNP figures are currently engaged in trying to reassure key defence contractors based in Scotland, mainly on the Clyde and on the Forth, that they would continue to get defence contractual work even as Scotland achieves the SNP ultimate aim of obtaining independence from the UK. A rather tall order on their part, I would suggest, because if Scotland should cease at some future date to be part of the UK, then the powers that can be at Holyrood can be reassured that the Royal Navy will no longer place contracts with shipbuilding yards based in Scotland. Of course, it could be that the government of a future independent Scotland would wish to set up its own defence systems. One can understand why companies such as Babcock, BAE Systems and Thales might be apprehensive about that possibility, especially in relation to the size of any future Scottish defence budget. The facts speak for themselves. There are over 30 million taxpayers in England and Wales, but only 2.5 million in Scotland. Yours, etc., Robert I.G. Scott, by email. Nominations sought for Child Awards. Sir, as a long-time ambassador for WellChild, the national charity for seriously ill children, I appeal to your readers to get in nominations quickly for this year's WellChild Awards. The deadline has been extended until February the 27th, so please don't delay if you know a brave and special young person in your area. All the awards we will be paying a public tribute to some of the UK's very special children, young people and caring professionals. We are looking for inspirational children and young people who have defied the odds in the face of serious illness, and the selfless nurses, doctors, brothers, sisters and friends who help care for them. Get the details of how to nominate them now on WellChild's website, www.wellchild.org.uk/awards. The winners will be invited, along with their nominators, to attend the WellChild Awards ceremony, which will take place later in the year. Yours, etc., Gabby Roslin, WellChild Ambassador. And that was today's Let's Talk section in the Kirkintilloch Herald.
Hello and welcome to the Kirky Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March 2022. Lindsay returned to Scotstoun. Written by Ian McLean. Lindsay Academy have signed up for the SP Energy Network's Warriors Championship, which makes its long-anticipated return to Scotstoun Stadium home of the Glasgow Warriors, later this month. The school is among 20 schools from Scottish Rugby's Glasgow, the West and Caledonia regions taking part in the competition that runs from February to May and is delivered by Glasgow Warriors and its official community partner SP Energy Networks. Over 800 girls and boys will be participating as the event returns after a COVID-19 enforced break. This is the 5th year SP Energy Networks have partnered with Glasgow Warriors to support the championship, which aims to improve access to grassroots level rugby while teaching valuable life skills like team working, leadership and communication skills, and promoting healthy living across the communities they serve. The 2022 championship runs over 8 weeks, with 4 qualification competitions culminating in the final at Scotstoun Stadium in May. Each school is represented by a trio of teams: an S1 boys side, an S2 boys outfit, and an under-15 girls team. The combined performances of each team determines the overall standings in each stage of the championship. Glasgow Warriors Managing Director Al Kelloch from Bishopbriggs and a former player with Allen Glens RFC said, "We're delighted to be hosting the SP Energy Network Warriors Championship once again. The past 2 years have been difficult for all of us as we have dealt with the pandemic, particularly with there being less opportunities to play rugby at grassroots. Being able to encourage healthy living through rugby to youngsters across Glasgow, the West and Caledonia is a pleasure and a key part of the culture we are creating at Glasgow Warriors. Over the next few weeks, many young people from schools across Scotland will try rugby for the very first time, and it's our hope this championship is just the beginning of their rugby journeys." Lenzi's qualification day will be on March 8th against St Thomas Aquinas School in Glasgow, Wellington School in Ayr, Lockerbie Academy and Robert Burns Academy in Cumnock. That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March, 2022. Hello and welcome to the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, the 2nd of March, 2022. Sports Digest. Football. West Park. Bishopbriggs Club West Park United take on Wishaw HSFP at Hunters Hill on Saturday, with a place in the semi-finals of the Scottish Amateur Cup at stake. Wishaw currently lies second in the Central Scottish AFL Premier Division, while West Park lead the CSAFL Championship. The match kicks off at 2 p.m. WOSFL. Petershill racked up their 15th league win in a row with a 1-0 victory over promotion rivals Neilston in their WOSFL Conference C clash at Petershill Park on Saturday. The only goal of the game came 12 minutes from the time when Paul Callender volleyed home Craig McGregor's cross from 6 yards. The win moves Peasy's 5 points clear of third-placed Neilston in the standings, a point behind leaders Drumchapel United, but with a game in hand. In the same division, Glasgow Perthshire went down 4-2 at St Rochs. St Rochs went 2 up inside the first 5 minutes through goals from Liam McLaughlin and Luke Cleland, but Shire hit back to level before the break through Craig Monroe and Paul Breenan. However, McLaughlin put St Rochs back in front at the second half, and Kieran Daw settled the outcome with a fourth near the end. Ashfield's Conference B match at Ardeer Thistle was called off. This Saturday, Petershill travelled to Premiership Division Cumbernauld United in the 4th round in the South Challenge Cup. Ashfield are on league duty at home to St Cadoc's. Rugby. Glens. Allen Glens resumes their Tennent's West Division 1 title push this Saturday when they host Cambus Lang. That is from the Kirkintilloch Herald on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022.
From the Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 23rd of February 2022, from the sports section, Home and Away by Ian McLean. Rob Roy boss Stuart Maxwell has started a petition in a bid to bring the club back to Kirkintilloch and end their 8-year exile in Cumbernauld. And the Rabs gaffer said the choice facing his beloved club is a stark one: either get back to their hometown or fold for good. Maxwell says he has started the petition because he is fed up of the long-running saga surrounding the club's move into the proposed new Kirkintilloch Community Sports Complex. When the club sold their former Adamsley Park in 2014, they anticipated being given the option of a 25-year lease to operate the facility, using it as a base to develop, but also delivering facilities, sporting and social, for the whole community. The site, due to be completed in September, will include a full-size artificial 3G sports pitch with floodlighting, main stand and VIP stand for spectators, a pavilion with changing facilities, cafe and toilets, car parking including electric car charging points, and covered bike stands. Rob Roy still have the proceeds from the sale of Adamsley, but have now been told by East Dunbartonshire Council they must tender to run the £5 million complex, along with any other interested parties. Maxwell said he is fed up with the saga dragging on and has got over 1,000 signatures already. He said, "I've had enough of the way this club is being treated. The club's future is at stake here, and I just felt we needed to make a stand and push this over the line." What happens if Rob Roy don't get this and go under because they decide not to give it to a club in Kirkintilloch? A non-league professional club in Kirkintilloch with money in the bank, who can invest, who can take it on, who have done all of the community engagement. We've tied in with local boys clubs, ladies football, mental health, OAPs. Rob Roy are investing their money into the whole community, not just for Rob Roy and nobody else to go and use the pitch. Yet it's Rob Roy's plan to use to build it. It's incredible. My honest opinion is that the club couldn't go on. A 144-year-old institution is going to go under here. The petition is online at change.org. Triathlon returns after COVID break by Ian McLean. A popular triathlon event is set to return to Bishopbriggs after a 2-year break due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Big Bubble Hats GTC Bishopbriggs Triathlon is hosted by Glasgow Triathlon Club and is scheduled to take place at the Leisuredrome Sports Complex on Sunday, April 24th. The event is aimed at a range of levels, from beginners right up to experienced athletes, and both juniors and adults, and challenges competitors to a non-stop triathlon race combining the 3 traditional elements of a swim, cycle and run. Both the 2020 and 2021 GTC Bishopbriggs triathlons were cancelled due to the restrictions imposed as a result of the pandemic. But now it's back, and making a welcome return, much to the delight of race director Douglas McNaughton. He said, "We're delighted that we're able once again to host a triathlon. It has felt like a long wait since May 2019, and we hope that competitors will be as keen to get back to racing as we are to host the event." Glasgow Triathlon Club is the largest in Scotland, with almost 500 members across junior and senior sections. It also offers training sessions and race partners for para-triathletes. The club has organised the Bishopbriggs Triathlon since 2005, and it is their biggest annual event, attracting athletes from across the UK. The triathlon is for seniors is a sprint distance, including a 750 metre swim, 20 km closed road bike ride, and 5 km canal path run. Juniors swim between 200 metres and 400 metres, then cycle 5 km or 10 km, and run 2 km or 3 km, depending on their age. Entries are open online at www.entrycentral.com/Bishopbriggs. The club also hosts a sister event, the Cameron Intellectual Property Kirkintilloch Aquathlon, on March the 13th. The race, which includes a pool swim and a run, moves from Allender Leisure Centre in Milngavie to Kirkintilloch Leisure Centre this year. Juniors and seniors can sign up at www.ntcentre.com/GTC-spring-aqua. Also see Glasgow Triathlon Club, clubs.britishtriathlon.org/Glasgow Triathlon Club. And that piece was by Ian McLean. Kirkintilloch, Rob Roy and Rossvale were both denied the chance to progress in the Kilmarnock Pie West of Scotland League Cup by the weather on Saturday. Both Rab's second round tie at home to Lanark United and Rossvale's match away to Forsyth Rangers were among the many games postponed. But there was action for Petershill, who stretched off their new club record run of league victories to 14 with a 2-0 home win over Yoker Athletic. Peasies had to be patient and wait until just before the half-time break to break the deadlock, a long ball sending Stephen Docherty clear to round Yoker keeper Scott Urquhart to score. Docherty doubled the host advantage just before the hour when a defensive mistake allowed him to again go through on one-on-one with the keeper. The win lifted Petershill into second in the WOSFL Conference C table, 2 points above a Nielsen side they host on Saturday in a potentially pivotal clash. Petershill remain a point behind Drumtapple United, but the leaders have played a game more than both their closest challengers. Glasgow Pershire's Conference C encounter at home to Vale of Leithen also beat the weather, and turned out to be a remarkable affair, with the hosts winning by the odd goal in 11. David Kirkwood grabbed a hat-trick, Paul Brennan got 2 and Craig Smith was also on target in Shire's 6-5 win. This Saturday's games: Premier Division, Clydebank v Rossvale, Rob Roy v Blantyre Victoria. Conference B, Ardere v Ashfield. Conference C, Petershill v Nielsen, St Roch's v Glasgow Pershire. Rugby Hub scheme is relaunched. Scottish Rugby has relaunched its Player Development Hub (PDH) programme after an 18-month hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The programme, considered a stepping stone in identifying future Scottish talent, aims to support identified players in the girls and boys youth game by providing additional training and playing opportunities to develop core rugby skills and game understanding for nominated under 16s and under 18 girls and under 15 boys. The nomination process for the programme is now open via Scrums, Scottish Rugby Players Management System, for registered coaches to put forward players. Applications close on Sunday, March 6th. More information is available on the Scottish Rugby website. Lenzie will lose out to Strugglers. Lenzie went down to a 24-13 defeat in their Tennent's West Division 1 match at Cambuslang. The win was only Cambuslang's second victory of the season and allowed them to climb off the bottom of the table. At the other end of the table, title chasing at Allen Glens were left without a game when their match at East Kilbride was called off. However, with title rivals Garnock and Stewartry also idle, there was no change at the top of the table. Glens, still unbeaten, remain 3 points behind the leaders Garnock with 2 games in hand, and 2 adrift of second place Stewartry with 1 match less played. There are no league games this Saturday due to the Scotland Six Nations match. And that was today's Kirkintilloch Herald sports section.
East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. The East Dunbartonshire Council Haston Road Kirkintilloch Temporary Closure Order 2022. On the 1st of March 2022, the East Dunbartonshire Council made the named order under Section 14(1) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984, as amended, which makes it unlawful for any person to drive or cause or permit to be driven any motor vehicle, with the exception of vehicles engaged in the works, on Haston Road between its junction with the A803 Glasgow Road and Bankview Crescent, by reason of works being executed on or near this road. This order will operate from 0930 hours on Monday 14th of March 2022 until 1800 hours on Friday 22nd of April 2022. Alternative route. Alternative routes for vehicles are by way of the A803 Glasgow Road, Adamsley Crescent, Adamsley Drive, Haston Road, Kelvin Drive and Kelvin Way, Kirkintilloch, and these routes will be signposted. Signed, Karen Donnelly, Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Legal Services, East Dunbartonshire Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Civic Government Scotland Act 1982, application for renewal of second-hand dealer licence. The undernoted has applied for the renewal of a second-hand dealer licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant is DAS Tech Limited, 104A Cowgate, Kirkintilloch, G66 1JU. Day-to-day manager Fiona Calkin, 1 Burnow Place, Rob Royston, G33 1RX. Premises Phone Plus, 104A Cowgate, Kirkintilloch, G66 1JU. All phone devices, iPads, tablets, laptops, PCs, game consoles, and all electrical devices. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3.1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be lodged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Deputy Chief Executive, Education, People and Business, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Planning applications. Format, app number, address, location, proposal, type of advert, period of reps. TPED 220047. Tower Farm, Bacco Hill Road, Torrance, East Dunbartonshire, G64 4DS. Conversion and extension of existing agricultural barns to form 2 dwellings. Erection of 1 dwelling, new access road and proposed refurbishment and extension to existing dwelling. Neighbour notification 21 days. TPED 220067, 6 Victoria Road, Lenzie, East Dunbartonshire, G66 5AW. Replacement of existing front door and surround with 4-panel wooden door and surround. Section 65, affecting CA 21 days. TPED 220073, Glasgow Bridge, Glasgow Road, Kirkintilloch, East Dunbartonshire. Change of use of mooring to form takeaway cafe. Regulation 21 days. TPED 220075, 5 Beach Road, Lenzie, East Dunbartonshire, G66 4HN. Erection of 3-metre high fence on Western Sports Pitch boundary. Section 65, affecting CA 21 days. The application plans and other documents can be viewed online through the Council's website. The current restrictions on non-essential office work associated with the coronavirus pandemic means that plans cannot be viewed in Council offices as normal. Written comments may be made within the above period to the Council through the Council's website or to the above address. Any representations will be treated as public documents and made available for inspection by interested parties and may also be published on the Council's website. Family announcements. Deaths. Clark Ian, peacefully after a short illness on February the 20th, 2022, at Glasgow Royal Infirmary. Beloved husband of Helen, a much-loved dad and father-in-law, an adored papa of Innes and Ewan. Funeral service will take place on Friday the 4th of March 2022 at Daldowie Crematorium for 2 p.m. Family flowers only, please. Kettles Margaret Cairns. Suddenly on February the 18th, 2022 at Glasgow Royal Infirmary, beloved wife of Joe, a much-loved mother of Mary, James, Margaret, and sister of Catherine, an adorable grandmother to 11 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. Funeral Mass will take place on Monday, March 7th, 2022, at St Ninian's RC Church, Kirkintilloch, for 10 a.m. Thereafter to Falkirk Crematorium for 11:30 a.m. Warlow Joseph, Joe. Peacefully at Gartnavel General Hospital, Glasgow, on Sunday, February the 20th, 2022, aged 94. Beloved husband of the late Anna, much loved by his children David, Dora and Gordon, and their families and by brother John. Funeral service at Springfield Cambridge Church, Bishopbriggs, G64 1PP, on March the 8th, 2022 at 1:15 p.m. Thereafter to Cadder Cemetery, Bishopbriggs, G64 2QG. Donations if desired in lieu of flowers to kidney research. The sunrise and sunset times for the week beginning Wednesday the 2nd of March. Sunrise time in Glasgow is 7:05 a.m. and the sunset time in Glasgow is 5:52 p.m.
Important information taken from the visibilityscotland.org.uk website regarding the upcoming census. Proud to support Scotland's census. Scotland's census is the official count of every person and household in the country. It usually takes place every 10 years. The census asks questions about people's age, sex, home and living situation, employment, education and qualifications, as well as ethnicity. Every household in Scotland must complete the census and, by doing so, are helping to shape Scotland's future. Completing the census is important because the answers provide the Scottish Government and many other service providers with the data they need to make important decisions that affect people's lives and their communities. These decisions include how much money will be spent on important services like education, housing, healthcare, roads and railways, and so much more. From the end of February, households will begin to receive a letter with instructions on how to complete their census online. Census Day is the 20th of March, but you can fill it in as soon as you receive your letter. Just make sure you answer questions with information that will be correct on the 20th of March to ensure that we have a snapshot of the nation on this day. Go to census.gov.scot or call the free helpline on 0800 030 8308. That's 0800 030 8308 for help and guidance on the questions, or if you need support to fill it in. And if you live in East Dunbartonshire, you can contact Opal for help on 0141 438 2347. That was 0141 438 2347. And that was important information about the upcoming census taken from the Visibility Scotland website, visibilityscotland.org.uk.
You were listening to the Bishopbriggs Kirkintilloch Herald, published on Wednesday the 2nd of March 2022 and recorded for people living with sight loss by Tune Review Print Speaking to the Blind.